I just finished my morning routine that I created to heal my inner child, my inner teenager, and all of my wounded parts. As somebody with complex health conditions like endometriosis, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, complex trauma, and neurodivergencies like ADHD. So what I need and what you need are different, but I find that the impact of morning and evening rituals and routines are universally helpful. So my two non-negotiables are that I don't pick up and use my phone before I've done my routine, and two, that I give myself grace for the mornings that I do pick up my phone. And I created these rituals and routines when I was in a very dark place, very depressed, acutely ill, beyond burnt out, and just doing the next task felt impossible. My little wounded, terrified inner child was completely calling the shots in my life. I was gripped in this panic-stricken survival mode, just feeling like I was floating in the black void and nobody was coming to save me. And I was just totally frozen. And if you're in that place, please know that these routines took a lot of time and sacrifice and energy and devotion to create and sustain. So please give yourself gentleness and grace and patience if you're trying to create routines like this. So I wake up in the morning, and before I get out of bed, I do a minimum of a 10-minute guided meditation on the Insight Timer app. If you're new to meditation, I recommend starting with 1 to 2 minutes. Then I'll put on about 3 to 5 gospel songs to ground myself in gratitude and connection to the divine, to God. And if you're not a believer, you could pick any kind of meditations or music that feels good for you. So before I've even put my feet on the floor, I've come into my body and the day. I get out of bed, I say a prayer of gratitude for the day, I brush my teeth, and if you're really depressed, it's very common for oral dental hygiene to be one of the first things to go out the window. So the mantra that I created when I was in that place was, I deserve clean teeth. And if I were taking care of a daughter, no matter how grumpy or tired she was, I would make sure that she brushed her teeth because mama knows best. And so as I reparent my inner child, I deserve clean teeth. I never drink caffeine on an empty stomach, particularly with endometriosis. I start my day with warm water or tea with lemon and salt. I have POTS, so all of my Potsy babes know about the salted morning water. I make my bed every single day, and because of my neurodivergencies and trauma, I have what they call time blindness. So if you're like me, then you have a hard time gauging how much time, energy, effort a certain task is going to take. And so this is not a paid ad, this is not a promo, this is just a product I really love that somebody turned me on to. And it's a timer designed for neurodivergent brains. So it's visual, it just works better for us. You can see across the room, that's an hour, 30 minutes. And so I started timing the tasks that I need to do daily and figuring out that a lot of times ADHD people will look at a sink full of dishes and think, oh, that's gonna take an hour, I can't do that, when it's really about 15 minutes worth of work. Or wake up in the morning and I think, oh, I really don't want to make my bed today, but I've timed it and I know that it really never takes more than about 3 minutes, and I always feel better after I do it. So I always make my bed. I eat the same breakfast almost every single day for years on end, just to take away some of that executive function or some of that choice decision-making fatigue and energy. So I have gluten-free oatmeal or gluten-free amaranth with some kind of fruit, nuts, seeds, cinnamon, some kind of protein like chicken or turkey, and then I'll have caffeine if I'm going to be having it that day. Let's see what else. Oh, I get on sunny days, I try to get 5 to 10 minutes of sunshine in my bare eyeballs to get the serotonin and dopamine that will turn into melatonin that night to help me sleep and help my body and my mind repair themselves. So I always say my morning routine really starts with my evening routine, and my evening routine starts with my morning routine, right? They help each other like night and morning shift at a restaurant. So in the morning, I'm trying to get 5 to 10 minutes of sunshine on a sunny day, 20 to 30 minutes on a cloudy, overcast day. So a lot of times I take my tea and my breakfast outside. I live with chronic pain and fatigue, and so I do a gentle movement routine every morning by Jeannie DeBon on YouTube. She created a gentle movement wake up video for hypermobile people specifically. Whether you're sitting at a desk all day or moving around, it is so mentally and physically helpful for me to do that routine. I splash my face with lukewarm water and put on moisturizer, SPF. I don't know why it feels so good and calming, but it does. Brush my hair, maybe put on a little makeup, put on some real clothes. A lot of times I'll set a timer and just do like a 5 or 10 minute morning shift tidy. I have OCD also, and I work from home. And so a lot of times neurodivergent people are scanning our surroundings at home about what needs to be done. So I need a very clean, tidy space. That's a whole nother video that I could help y'all figure out routines and rituals if you're OCD, ADHD, depressed, bereaved, on how to keep your house clean and tidy. It helps so much. What else? What else? What else? I think I've covered most of it. In some ways, I think it sounds really simple. In some ways, I think it probably sounds like a lot of work and effort, depending on where you're at in life. And it's both, right? It's simple and it's a lot of work, especially when we are addicted to our phones. And if you're feeling lonely or panicky or depressed, and when you wake up in the morning, the phone can give you the illusion of connection. But a lot of times, what it's doing is it's giving you this big dump of dopamine right when you wake up in the morning, and then your brain is seeking out that dopamine for the rest of the day. And so it will look for quick fixes, and that's when cell phone, social media addiction gets worse, wanting junk food and just anything that's quickly going to give you that dopamine. Whereas this kind of routine is this gentle ease into the day of being in my body, getting out of all of this like rumination and anxiety and over worrying, and sending a message to my inner child and my body and my psyche that I'm taking care of her, I'm taking care of us, we are worth it, we're valuable. The last thing I will say is that I understand that I do not have children, and it's very different for people that do. But what I will say is that I was a caregiver 24/7 for a long time for a very medically complex, terminally ill man, my husband. And it will be 9 years this month since he died. And one of the reasons why I had to create these routines to support myself is because of how badly I damaged my mental and physical health by not taking care of myself while I was taking care of him. And so if you're a parent or a caregiver for somebody else, I remember saying to myself in those years, especially that last year, that I just don't have the option to do these things for myself. I don't have the time, the energy, or the option. And I validate your feeling. I get that. But what I'm very forthright about acknowledging these days is that I deserved for Gregory, my husband, to be uncomfortable sometimes so that I could take care of myself. And what I did instead was just prioritize his comfort 100% of the time and neglect my own needs. And the truth is, we both deserved for me to put my own oxygen mask on first so that I could take care of him. And I'm just as valuable and worthy as him, right? This is like the inner child narrative. I didn't think so at the time when he was alive. And so if you're a parent, your child also deserves for you to be nurtured and taken care of, and they deserve to see you taking care of yourself so that when they grow up, they understand that they don't need to neglect and sacrifice their own health for other people. And so I would just invite you to think about, are there little things that could be carved out of your mornings and evenings where mom can get 10 extra minutes to eat something other than a protein bar and a piece of toast running out the door with a coffee? Or is there something that can be changed where dad gets his 10 minutes to do whatever, have his coffee in the sunshine in silence. And this might be uncomfortable for your children, and it might cause some hiccups in your family routines, but in the long term, all of us need to be pouring into ourselves, taking care of our inner children, our bodies, our hearts, our minds, our spirits, so that we can be better parents, friends, community members, neighbors, all of that. Thank you for listening. Me and my cicada say good morning and see y'all later.